China proposing a 25% tariff on U.S. liquefied natural gas as trade tensions remain high between the two countries. The possible tariff on the commodity comes in retaliation to earlier U.S. tariffs.
Despite that threat, some say it won't have much impact on U.S. LNG exports if imposed. Joining us now to discuss more is Pavel Molchanov from Raymond. James, Pavel, thanks for joining us. Let's explore that thought of how much impact it will have. Of course, China does import a lot of LNG, but most of it is from places like Australia and Qatar, is it not?
Well, yes, for the time being, absolutely. The reality is the U.S. only has two LNG export projects currently operating. One is Sabine Pass in Louisiana, and the other is Cove Point in Maryland. Now, there will be three more starting up, actually four more starting up over the next 18 months, so that will increase. But, you know, LNG, just like crude oil, just like gasoline, and et cetera, is fungible. And what I mean by that is, you know, you can switch out LNG from one supplier to another, you know, pretty easily. So what ultimately matters for the industry is not so much whether China buys it, but will somebody buy it, right? Total supply and total demand are really what matter. So if this tariff lasts a long time, what will happen is U.S. LNG will go to markets other than China, you know, perhaps Europe, perhaps Korea, Taiwan, India, and China in turn will buy more from countries other than the U.S. Qatar and Australia, Papua New Guinea would all be logical sources.
To dig into this idea that LNG is fungible just a little bit more, given that fact, does it actually, if this is a long-term situation, does it actually require changes to the supply chain, or is it really just a matter of where the ships are destined?
It's a matter of where the ships are going. So now, most LNG is sold under contract. So the real question is, will Chinese LNG buyers, like PetroChina, be willing to sign new LNG purchase agreements with U.S. suppliers? You know, as it stands, there is only one such deal, and it involves, you know, Chinese buyer and Cheniere, which operates that Sabine Pass terminal. But there are so many early-stage, pre-construction U.S. LNG projects, and by the way, in Canada too, that have been trying to sign these long-term offtake agreements. So if China is not going to be receptive to signing those deals, then these companies will have to, you know, shift their business development elsewhere, and China will need to source LNG from other suppliers. So the supply chain will adapt, as it always does. It's, you know, it's just going to take time.